There it is. Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Scott Silverian here with Sierra Interactive. Super excited to have everybody with us. We have an all-star panel today, which I'm super excited about. We'll give it a few minutes to let everybody log on here as we usually do. I don't want to give it too much time because we have a ton of ground to cover today and a ton of value to add. So while we are waiting, question of the day, what's your local temperature? What's the temperature right now outside? It is, I think, 78 by me here in Northern Colorado. So, but it sounds like everybody's sort of hitting nice fall weather. Actually, we're in the 80 today. So, go ahead and put in the chat. What's your weather? Let us know we can hear you. 88. Oh, that's Dan. Okay. We're not far behind you there, man. At 80 degrees.
I know
So,
it's pretty hot out there, but the real feel is like 94 right now, so you're still a little
oof,
bit sweaty, you know.
yeah.
Oh,
Nah. That's too hot. It's 80 degrees here, but
It's
it's
gorgeous.
in the shade it's probably 72. So works out pretty well. Do
I
we
love
have
that.
anybody online here today? Because I'm not seeing anything
I see
in the chat at all.
I see nothing in the
We got people
chat.
coming in. We got 114 people logged in. So either that's a
It's
lot of
us,
bots at
guys.
work.
Could you imagine? I got excited and then I was like, it's 78 now. Oh,
Right,
that's Lorraine.
right,
Okay.
right.
And then Amy, it's oh, thanks Amy for attending.
We got a lot of attendees in here, but nobody
Dennis, there
oh,
everybody is. We're starting to pop in.
there's
We've been all
there we go.
hanging out
There we
by
go.
ourselves.
87 in DFW. Okay.
Oh,
Somebody hit the right button and
we
opened up
thought
the
we
chat to
were
everybody.
all by
So there we
ourselves.
go. There we go. Now
yes.
it's
Now it's embarrassing how many people are
now,
here.
right. It's
I would
coming in
have
fast and furious now.
I would have learned a lot though just from Dan and Lorraine, so I'd have been okay if it was just us chilling out. They got
Oh
some
yeah.
pretty badass businesses and
I know.
I
some
I agree.
systems.
Check out the 80s around here. 21 degrees in
Oof.
In
That has to
Canada.
be like the
Oh.
Canadian, whatever the numbers you guys use up there.
Celsius, dude,
The
Celsius.
numbers up there.
All right. Boy, oh boy,
I
they're really
love
they're
that.
really coming in quick.
I
87
love
in
that.
Oxford. We've got an Oxford, Mississippi. I can't even read the names are coming in so quick.
Ottawa. It seems to
63
be
in
nice
Ottawa.
weather up in Canada. It seems like that would be a nice. I mean, Amy's not far from Canada either, so that's she's
Nope.
telling us it's
It's
gorgeous up
true.
there right now.
Yep.
It's true. Awesome. All right. Well, now that we have everybody in the chat and we've got a fair amount of attendees on, we'll let some other people log into as we get going. Again, everyone, thank you so much for joining today. My name is Scott Silverian. I'm the Director of Industry Relations here at Sierra Interactive, as well as a licensed agent and a client. And awesome panel we've put together for you today, and really excited about this. We have three of our Sierra superstars here to share insider secrets with you and how they're using Sierra in their personal businesses. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves. We've got Lorraine Danielson, Dan McKinnon, and Amy Stockberger with us. Lorraine, why don't you start us off? Just give us a little background on who you are and where you are.
Sure. My name's Lorraine Danielson, and I'm north of Atlanta in Dallas, Georgia. And yes, there is a Dallas in Georgia. Everybody thinks Texas, but we're over here. And I have a small team, and our jam really is SEO, which is why we're with Sierra. So we do a lot of that, and we work our sphere a lot, kind of like Amy. We're very client oriented, and we work them both out of Sierra. So
Love it. That's great. Dan?
Hey, everybody. My name is Dan McKinnon. I am on the west coast of Florida, here in Sarasota, Florida. If you're not familiar, Siesta Key Beach, that is our main beach here.
Whoops.
Many people know that. I'm located about an hour south of Tampa. We have a small team here with Real Broker. I'm also a coach with Sell It, Ryan Serhant's coaching platform, and we do a lot there. The reason I love Sierra and the reason it's a go-to for us is its SEO power and the fact that it's our main frame to everything we do. So you'll hear everything I talk about from here or anything in the future about how much it is the foundation to our business. So I'm excited to be on here and kind of share the help we've had. I did used to run a advertising agency that specialized in building websites and SEO before content was content. So for me being here, it's kind of great to have a place that's I can call home with such a great SEO and content backbone. So happy to be here.
I'm Amy
Awesome.
Stockberger with Amy Stockberger Real Estate. We have a brokerage that runs like a team. We're a teamerage. We're here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, the warm Dakota, not as close to Canada, Dan. We're like one state down from Canada. But we run a lifetime home support model. So we have a system and strategy for every step of the home buying and selling process, before, during, and forever, to take care of our clients for life. And it includes a system for that very first renter coming out of rental, going into home ownership with a lease buyout, to that very last seller buying or selling their last house, going into senior care, and really everything in between, with the VIP club, with moving trucks, party supplies, tools, and a pretty robust vendor program. And what I love about Sierra is systems are one of my superpowers. So anytime I can shave 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 5 seconds off of anything, it makes this girl's brain happy. And that's what Sierra's done. We, in my 25 years doing this in the business, we've been with 4 different CRMs, and Sierra is hands down my favorite. And the lift getting into it, because that's always an issue. You always think about what's the lift to change, was so seamless. It was delicioso. And so we use it at a pretty high level with our team. We are a team of 22 some agents. We rank #1 in our city since 2017, ranked 33 in the nation, and just love everything about Sierra. So I'm happy to share what's working for us.
Awesome. That's great. And I love this because we've got you guys really bring a wide variety of skills to the conversation. So let's go ahead and dive in. And, where the place I'd like to start, and any of you can go ahead and speak up as to where you see fit. But let's talk hidden gems, right? Like, what's one feature in Sierra, either on the CRM or the website side, functionality that you discovered later in your tenure here with Sierra, but now can't live with it?
I can start. There's really a couple ways we use this. We used to buy leads when I had 18 agents. And as we scaled down, I still have about 10,000 that are pretty active on our site. We're very hyper local. But we don't buy any new leads, right? We work our sphere, we do SEO, but we don't want to lose. I mean, that's a huge database, right? And so one of the things we like is the reverse prospecting feature. And a lot of people
Gotcha.
don't use it, I feel like, when I talk to someone. So the great thing about that is you could pick a property. We have a lot of new construction in my area, and I want to highlight a property. You can go in there. It's under listings. I'm sorry.
Yep, you got it.
Yeah,
Listings
yep,
and reverse
under
prospecting.
listings. And
Yep.
then you could do reverse prospecting. Your screen looks a little different than mine. And one of the things is, if you wanted to pick a specific property, let's say new construction, and they have huge incentives, you can find out who in your database is looking for a property like that and market to them through the email. So it's kind of a way to call through and not just send them something random, but something they actually want. What's their safe search right now? And does this fit their model? You can also use it when you go to a listing. So one of the things we've done is, when we go to get a listing, we can pull this up and say, right now in Dallas, Georgia, for 400 to 450, I have 800. I pulled it today. I had 803 potential buyers in my database that are still actively searching. So I can specially market to them your property, right? We're very hyper local. We're dialed in. It's different than somebody that's just looking on Zillow randomly. And the third way we use it is, I started building a blog for every one of our listings. And when I send that out, I'm able to market to them also our properties, right? In a very targeted way. So kind of a 3-prong approach to it,
Awesome.
but it definitely is a great way to niche down when you're trying to get a lead re-engaged with you that's just sitting there.
Yeah, that's great. And I love how you're using it both on the buyer side and the listing side, right? Adds a ton of value there. That's awesome.
We have our ISA, so our inside sales, our agents do the same thing with listing appointments, Lorraine, where they'll actually just ping it over to the ISA so he can pull everything within our entire pond to the agents. So when they're going out, they have the access for everything, and it just helps. It does help us secure, and you're showing, not just telling. You're showing them, like,
Right.
this is what we have access to market a target market approach. Because I do feel like one of the biggest mistakes agents make around the country when it comes to listing properties is they start advertising it to every buyer pool, and they don't figure out where's your target market, who are this demographic. And typically every listing has three buyer pools that you're going after, and this is such an easy way to really lock down that the right eyeballs on the listing.
Yeah, great point.
One of the I'll share two of my I have two small gems that are pretty interesting. One of the first ones is that if you are on Sierra, you know how easy it is to set up to send over links to people and they quickly register. So what we don't realize is how many times that we're always searching for different ways to push the communication with marketing. And so it took me a bit to realize this, but realizing that my entire website is a landing page, meaning I can build out any specific landing page and direct my consumers exactly what I want while keeping them in my ecosystem. There's a lot of people that always hear the idea of marketing funnels, sales funnels, and it always ends up in a landing page, right? And we always end up with these systems. Oh, I easy built landing page over here. Well, with a little bit of work and understanding the system, I realized that there's a lot of different ways to utilize the system as landing pages, whether it be from advertisements and doing a full guide to our market reports where people want to pull up market reports and download them. So utilizing that. So if someone, I posted on my Instagram in a story, whoever's not registered will have to go register. And now I see that as a new lead and a new opportunity. So it's been really, something small that probably actually saves me $20, $30, $40 a month on some extra subscription for landing pages is actually bringing it in-house, because now I'm bringing it tighter to my ecosystem of that. The second thing is saved searches. It took me forever to get really deep into saved searches and how easy it is to go through and really niche down to your farm and area markets and do saved searches for each one of those communities and understand the SEO benefits of building out these specific neighborhood saved searches or specific age. Where I'm in Sarasota, so we have a lot of 55 plus communities, condos, beach ones, close to the beach, walking to the beach. So there's a lot of keywords that down the road people are looking for. They might come back to that. So those are my two gems. Hope they're
That's
helpful.
awesome.
I
Yeah,
will
and
add
on
on
top,
to his safe search there. So
Mhm.
I just did a series of blogs for new construction out here, and I went in and created one for D.R. Horton, Lennar, David Weekly, Weekly Homes. We have Smith Douglas, and I was able to put in each of their neighborhoods that are in my area, and then I now have a blog that's just for that new construction, right? And it's targeting only and the showing only their homes for SEO juice. You could do that for any neighborhood, like you said. You can really
So
niche
we actually do that, and this would be another, I guess, fun tip if I can just jump in. I know Amy's yet to share, so
down. No,
I want to be short. But just to go along with what Lorraine was saying, if we're here in Florida, we have a lot of new construction. Find out new construction communities that are going up. Pick all the information and break that down into a blog series. We actually do the same thing as Lorraine does, and we actually now are the first ranked page that comes up over the builder. And now it's pretty annoying. But we actually get 2 to 3 calls a week from people that live there that are asking about the HOA information. So what we do is we share it and we say, hey, whenever you're ready to sell or your friends or family looking to buy, we'd love to be able to help you. We're going to email it over with our information. So it's pretty cool because some of these DR Horton, Lennar do not have good websites. And when people go to search for this information, you can just break down their own information into different blog sets, link all the saved searches below, have an easy contact form, and then say big call to action that says, going into new construction with an agent won't cost you much more, or won't cost you whatever you want this to. I know we have to be careful with that nowadays. Well, it won't cost you much more, but it will, save you a lot more, whatever you want. But at the end of the day, you're having that flow of people like Lorraine said that are just searching for these new communities. So I love that, Lorraine. Sorry that I just jumped in maybe on you.
Oh, no,
no,
you're good.
that's great.
Amy?
It's a super creative way to use the powers of SEO within Sierra to not just, think you're going to rank for real estate agent in or, homes for sale in, but getting hyper local, getting niche, like the new construction idea. I love. That's awesome.
Well, this one, I love all of that. Again, these two are brilliant. I always learn every time I'm with these two. So that's awesome. Thank you. Thanks for putting me in this one. Okay, so this isn't anything that's like mind blowing, but we use it at a really high level. Okay, our vendor program that we built out, because we as real estate agents are super connectors, right? We get to connect buyers and sellers, but then we get to connect our clients with everything else they need throughout their whole home ownership journey. And so we built out a vendor program of the local top vendors in our market, and we have like over 100 vendors, and they pay us to be a part of the program. They pay us $3,500 a year to be a part of it. So part of what we do is market out to them, which every time I help their SEO, then when they get more clients, I get more closings, because it allows us to continue to get referred back to us. So we easily go out and do the blogs in here, advertising them, and we get the same thing, Dan. Well, we're getting a lot of the calls like, hey, is this Rogers Heating and Plumbing? We want to do this. We're like, no, but it's great for us, because then we track that lead, because then I have less churn in that program. That's a very profitable program. And knowing now as well that the world is changing because of AI, that the way humans are searching for products and services is changing, means that we have to change the way we're marketing too, and for my vendors. So we built out an AI visibility engine that is so easy to run the play in Sierra with the content page creations, that we went in and just put in all the things that the AI platforms crawl, and made our websites, our pages crawlable, or more desirable to be crawled by the AI. Same with our vendors, so they're showing up more in the mentions, because you can't just optimize for the click anymore, right? You have to optimize for that very specific mention in those AI platforms. Again, has helped us tons. And by just doing that in 1 month from when we built out that AI visibility engine, we saw our SEO go up. Our SEO went up, our searches 220% in 1 month, and our profile views on Google 159%, from going into Sierra and just changing out those pages, those content pages, because it's so easy. I just built a playbook and I gave it to a VA, and they run the play.
So is that a tool you built yourself, Amy?
Yep, just a playbook on the back end of it. Yeah, actually, I think they have a ManyChat set up on it. If you guys want the playbook, go out and follow me on Instagram at Amy Stockberger, and then if you DM me my AEO, answer engine optimization, I'll send you that playbook. But
And now,
it's so easy within Sierra to do this, though. And just to go back, and again, I have a VA who takes care of it and updates it.
That was,
I
I
want
want to put
to,
that, sorry, Dan, I want to put that in the chat, Amy. That was at Amy Stockberger and then my AEO.
Yep, that's right, Em?
Great.
Yep.
and you can just message me at Dan the Realtor. Hello. I'll just say hello back. No, I'm kidding. What I did want to follow up, Amy, though, was I I don't I want to say one thing. I've been working with SEO for a bit, so I'm not going to ever claim to like be the answer. And I really, really want to be careful with this, because everything changes every day. But I want to be very clear that there's a lot of misconceptions out there on the type of SEO and like doing AI SEO and all that. From the look of it, it's all still coming from basic SEO. So continue showing up with basic
Oh,
SEO, and you're going to no,
yeah,
not you, Amy. I'm talking about
yeah,
anyone else, because I do think that
totally.
when anyone thinks there's this whole idea that AI LLMs are only reading certain language, and our site has been showing up with a lot of Gemini stuff, ChatGPT. If you are running Sierra on a high level, I suggest you invest in using SEM or SEMrush, just because you can see all of the requests from LLMs to your Sierra interactive site. And so you can see exactly how you're ranking, how you're coming up in all the different searches. But like Amy's doing, like Lorraine's doing, like myself's doing, the good SEO off of our own playbooks and putting in the work is actually showing up in these LLMs and the AI answers.
And
Totally.
just to
Good
clarify,
stuff, Dan.
LLMs are able to crawl our sites along
Ab-
with the SEO capabilities. So we are getting, and I know you guys are actually ranking in these large language models. So it's happening fast.
Yeah.
I think personally, one of the things I've continued to look at too is even a manual search. You know what I mean? Like me going in incognito and looking to see what it brings up in that AI mode is helpful. I mean, you can see when you rank and use SEMrush and those tools, But if you're somebody that you're small and you don't have a big budget and you're trying to get this going, you can look in there and you can actually see what somebody's asking, what somebody cared about, what it brought up, what it thought was important, and build from there. The biggest thing about SEO is you're answering a question that somebody cares about. That's really what it is. I think people try to make it very complicated sometimes, and it's overwhelming if you're not tech minded. But at the end of the day, you're answering a question somebody on the internet wants to find out about a neighborhood, your community, whatever it is. And that it doesn't, if your budget's not allowing for that, but you still want to rank, there's a way to, you know what I mean? You can still do that. And I still like to look at it because I feel like as technology changed just a few months ago, that AI overview was popping up a lot, right? And it had all these links. So I was able to rank pretty easy if I answered all the things and became every single link. Well, that's phasing out. That AI mode is replacing it. So now that game's changed. So you can get caught in that cycle, right? Of chasing it a little bit. So just being mindful of what it is. I do want to bring up, somebody asked Amy earlier, what was a pond? So you have AIs. I mean, you have you have an inside sales agent, right? And I say, Amy,
Yep.
talk a little bit about how ponds work, because I think that's what somebody wanted to know.
Well, we have it set up based upon like we tag it out. And the like I'm trying to pull up like what I have here.
And I pulled it up. I don't know if everybody can see my screen. I actually pulled up. We obviously have ponds in Sierra. You can set up multiple ponds in Sierra. So I did pull it up on the screen. Amy,
Okay.
go ahead and how are you guys using ponds?
Yeah, it depends on like we have it set up based upon well, we use Sharon's 5-star prospecting tag. So just the tagging system in there that we tag everybody on those 5 stars so that our ISA and our agents use the same thing. So we're following that path of, if it's a 5-star prospect, that means that, and we do it like how we do it is like 5B or 5S. So that means 5 buyer, 5 seller. But if it's a 5-star, that means they want you to help them. If it's a 4-star, they know when they want to transact. If it's a 3-star, they know what they want. If it's a 2-star, they're friendly and collaborative. If it's a 1-star, it means they're willing to engage in a dialogue, or we also use that, or they're just barely are engaging, or maybe are getting ready to ghost us if they haven't ghosted us on that. And so that's how we just have it categorized out. And again, just using those tags at a high level, even more granular when you get into it, like is it for T, like which T is a metropolitan, is a little suburb right around us. So we know too that we can go back in and pull like that's somebody who has a cellar or a house in T, South Dakota.
Yeah,
But the pond itself is really those are leads that are not assigned to an agent, right?
Yep.
I think
Yep.
that's kind of
Yep.
what they were looking for.
Yep.
So
Yep. Yeah. There's that. They're still being worked within a
Yeah.
company generated lead that we're still working and getting teed up for them.
Yeah, and they give you a lot of capabilities also in regards to, Lorraine, to your point, it's not assigned to a specific agent. So you can give a group of agents or multiple agents access to a pond to either, prospect out of and claim the leads out of there. I also know clients who use Sierra for not only for their production business, but for recruiting as well, and agent attraction. So they may set up a pond that just has agents in that they're sending messages to, contacting and things like that. So there's a lot of different ways you can use them. Super flexible. Yeah,
And
really good.
we use Sierra, again, we have our vendor program is a big part of our business. And so we use Sierra, and Sierra isn't set up for a B2B, but it's so easy to use it that way for our vendors in there because we do it as prospects, they're tagged out if it's a home support team HST prospect or an HST active, so which then correlates to every action plan that they're getting based upon that on what they're categorized as or they're tagged as. So we use it very easily that way. And there was other
Yeah.
CRMs that we couldn't do that. It was just a pain in the buns trying to run our play of our vendor program within this.
And Amy, I don't know if you do this too, but Dan just popped off. I know I've also seen clients set up content pages, right? Creating a content page for their vendors, where they're highlighting their vendors on a particular content page that then either link out to that vendor's website or contact information or whatnot. So again, a lot of flexibility in regards to creating your own website and adding content to it.
Oh yeah, we do that for every single one. That's why we get so
Mhm.
many calls coming back thinking that we are that company because we built
Yeah.
that out, which again keeps that vendor sticky to me, and reduces the churn I have in a very profitable program. So because we're able to then, track that.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
And again, the ease of the play with the action plans too, on how we systemize every part of our business, not just our vendors, but our VIP club. So clients get access to, moving trucks, they get access to our party supplies, our tool supplies. So we have action plans that are set up specific to that. So when they make a rental, our the one software, we can go in and just tag it, and then they get an action plan specific to, hey, we have you set up to do this. This is what the requirements are. You've signed the liability, and it all lives in there so smoothly. And then also just for tracking it for even like client events. Again, using it in a different program, we found this to be a little bit more clunky, where when we do a big client event, everybody who's getting invited to client event is tagged VIP. So the mail out is the email out, and the SMMs are pretty easy. And then as they RSVP in, we tag it RSVP'd in turkey, turkey 25, our turkey giveaway. So then when we send out the next round of reminders of it, we're not banging them again. They're just querying that out. So we're not going over and continually sending stuff to them that they don't need to see anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what I'm hearing, Amy, is you guys leverage tags at a very, very high level in your system.
Very, very high level.
Yeah. There's so many things you can do it between, setting up automations based on tags, or like you said, organizing and filtering and things like that. So that's great.
Right.
That's great.
I think that if I could jump in and say one thing about the tags too, is I think that of
We lost.
why CRMs in general work well or not is the organization and the behavior you go into using it. And by subscribing to the idea that, hey, I have to get everything really organized and state all of, the opportunities here, what the client needs, wants, anything out there, and really organize it, it's going to be easier for me to do my job in the future. And that's one of the hardest things to do when you lock in on something. So I think the power is really in you and everyone that's on this call right now, and you actually joining up on any of the training, joining up on any of the courses that goes through how to utilize this, because it really is just functionality and committing to use this.
100%, 100%. And putting it into every one of your systems, right?
1,000%.
Yeah.
And like
So
even the tags, it's like really hard to do to think about it. But in the future, if you have a certain neighborhood, someone's interested, and you're like, oh, I'm just going to search all the tags for that neighborhood. I have an upcoming listing that I'm going on an appointment to. I could email these people, see how many people are interested. You're sitting at that listing appointment going, hey, I got 2 emails from people that are possibly interested in this. You probably
right.
just got that listing by just being organized and having a tag system. So
Totally.
I think that and then that's just one example of it, right? Like there's so many other ways we could utilize it, but I do think that your point is having a very systemized perspective on this, on the CRM in general, not
Yeah.
just looking at it as, oh, my website or oh, my CRM. It is the foundation of all 3 of our businesses. I could probably tell
Yeah.
you that it is what, if it's not in my CRM, it's probably not that important. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it goes in there to tell me who's important, who's not, and how can I get more people logging onto that.
Well, one of the
Right.
things that we do when we use tags too is I have these flip books that I've made, and they're very hyper local. They have all
Right.
this information in them. I know everybody laughs every time. Everybody's fascinated with these, but
They're awesome.
my
Yeah.
site, you can put YouTube videos in them. But we actually have some action plans, and when we tag, they fire out different information they might want. And the flipbook's great because it keeps them in your ecosystem, right? Like it all links back to the pages I built out. And so those have been a great tool to give them a value added resource. And we use that with tags and automation plans, like Amy mentioned. So those have done very well for us. Share your
Great.
screen, Amy. I think you were going to show the
Oh, I think,
one of
yep,
your
she put
vendor
it.
The vendor
pages.
page. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just one of them. And we go in and update these. This is just an individual one for
Mhm.
Karmazine Dental. But I have a whole prompt that I built out to take these, and then we added in our lead magnet page. So then it just automatically changes out what lead magnet I want to put within here on top of their information, and just wrote the rules out and then put it into, so it has some high SEO and some AEO formatting
Super
too.
cool.
So yep, it works great. And again, the stickier I can keep my vendors to me, the more referrals we're going to get, and the more vendor revenue we get, right? And so my job is just to keep, and then I show them the difference of like what it means to be, you know, associated with authoritative. I have a high authority on Google. I have that. By me just backlinking to them, that helps their authority. You know, and then that again, you're authentically serving them, they're going to have that law of reciprocity come back in where they're going to be referring you. Like our vendors are a big part of our lead generation. You know, we have over 800,000 in GCI closed the year to date just from vendor referrals into our business.
I think it's so cool that you do that, Amy, because I think that it goes to a higher level of serve. Like obviously you have a good relationship with them. They pay you money to be on there. But at the end of the day too, is this is, you know, goes out to everybody on the call, is that you can hear these creative ways we're doing things on using the platform. But at the end of the day, how can you become the marketer of your area? You can hear a lot of the stuff we're saying is local businesses, partners, people we trust, people we, well, here's the thing, everybody. We are marketers. So don't take a break from the homes for a second, take a break from the buyers and the sellers, and maybe go make your local dentist office. If you don't have a platform that you're ready to go sell a $3,500 page to, well, why don't you go start doing it for someone that you can showcase later on? Show someone that you got them, hey, there's a bunch of people that called me for, you know, to let me know that they want to order a pizza, but I let them know to call you. You know what I mean? There's so many different ways, and I think the way that Amy did it is perfect example to showcase. If you don't have that platform and you want to build to it, go out and market your area, because here's the residual effort of that is leads coming in. The residual effort is more people coming to your website. So I'm obsessed with Amy's kind of like her resource
Yeah.
page and like putting that out there, because I'm sure if she goes into her analytics, she's having hundreds of clicks on a freaking dental office on her website, or the sub guy
Right.
down the street or something like that. Because here's the thing, people are asking the questions, people are
Right.
looking for these answers, and it's gonna come up. So applaud you,
And
Amy.
it keeps us, oh, thank you. It just keeps us sticky to our clients too, because we have a solution, and good entrepreneurs provide problem or solutions to problems, and they want this. So we just put a framework to it. But you know, one thing I think real estate agents, I was just saying this in another mastermind I was on this morning, like you need to pick your hard. What's your hard? Are you going to chase cold leads forever? That sounds awful. Are you going to keep like that? That sounds awful. Like I couldn't, that's not how I'm built. I'm just not built to do that, because we're, warm leads convert 8 times higher than a cold lead ever will. And it's a hell of a lot more fun. A hell of a lot more fun to work with a warm lead. So, and NAR tells us year after year after year, to grow our sphere. One way in growing your sphere is just building out those relationships in a local way where you are turning everybody you meet into walking, talking billboards. Because regardless of where you are in your career, you want as many people talking about your brand in front of as many other people as possible, as often as possible, in the best way as possible. You want that walking, talking billboard. And by doing it so easily, like throughout how we do it with Sierra, it just makes that stickier for them to say my name, my brand's name, as much as possible.
I mean, when you started, how many, like, I know obviously you're getting 3,500 from them, but when you first started this, what did that look like? Were you doing it for free? Were you building that relationship? How did
It's
that transition for you? I think some agents could benefit from that.
Yeah, so it started out as a leads group, like a BNI. That's what it was. And what I realized about 10 years into building my business is that we were killing it on the before and during, but we just weren't getting that repeat and referral business. And we were running billboard ad campaigns to like 30 grand a year with the one campaign goal of trying to remind people who knew, like, and trusted us to use us. And shocker, me and every other real estate agent in the world were saying, hi, do you want to buy or sell a house? Gross. You know, that I didn't have any unique value proposition that was actually serving my clients' needs beyond the closing table. And so that's when I got really granular about that and said, I need to figure out something to be in alignment with them through not only their home ownership journey, but their human experience. And so we built out that VIP. And then literally right after we built that out, we built out from my leads club. I'm like, here, I see that they have a problem too. these vendors, they're trying to do the same thing I am. They're trying to grow their business and they need a way to do it. And we have the same ICP, the same ideal client profile. How could we grow together, provide a solution together that was serving the clients, serving my agents? Because we have an average agent tenure about 7.5 years because we easily keep their clients sticky to them, to serve them in a way that everybody wins. And we started, it was like just the majority of my leads club that made sense. So it went from like 10 to 15 to 20, and we just kept building on and adding in more services. And I saw, not even really thinking about it, I'm like, oh, wait a minute, all these businesses have employees. All these employees have life changes too, right? And every life change typically has a housing need lagging right behind. And so, like, how could I provide another level of service to get in front of their employees too? And so we built that out. We give them access to all these different things that then we got to sit in front of their employees now a minimum of 3 times a year, where we get to tell them about how not only are we the experts in connecting buyers and sellers, but how we do it so very differently with our lifetime home support model. And then it just continued to build from there. And that's the one department I wish I would have started before my ISA. I wish I would have started a business development department or started a business development this way before I started an ISA, a cold lead warming department.
Makes sense.
I think someone wanted to know too, who are we using to build out our pages? Um, who are you using, Amy?
I like my content pages. I build out the playbook and the prompts and chat, and I just give it to a VA.
What about you, Dan? Who's building yours out? Oh, okay. I think he's on something.
We
Um,
can't hear you now.
Yeah,
We can't hear you.
I'm smaller. I don't have as big an advantage there as Amy does, but I do some of it, and then I have someone else that is techie, and she's a friend of mine, and I taught her how to do it in there, and we use Chat, Claude, some Perplexity, and I pay her, and she does a good 12 consistently for a month for the blogs, and then I do the rest. And so it's possible you don't have to have, someone else once you get to do it. Very personalized.
And
Somebody does personal
someone
SEO.
Yeah, personal SEO is one of
Yeah.
our partners. They do content creation and things like that. Someone also asked, do you recommend that that you get a VA that is familiar with Sierra? I mean, probably yes, but at the end of the day, if you're creating the standard operating procedures that VA is going to follow, which you're going to, it's pretty straightforward, especially if you start them on one task. I mean, if you're going to have them create a content page, I mean, there's specific steps to do that. So, and if you're going to have them create content using Claude, I would imagine you're going to create the instructions on how to do that. Can either
Oh,
one of you speak to that as well?
oh yeah, I think that's easy, and it's such an easy, user-friendly site to do. As far as what you're asking, Scott, if can you train a VA on this? Super
I
easy.
mean, yeah.
Yeah, I have our VAs running it for a lot of the agents we coach. So they just go in and go on the back end of it. Um, I saw somebody asked up there about agent buy-in.
Can
Our
you guys hear
agents,
me?
yep,
Yes.
that
I
was
just want to make sure you guys can hear me, and I will answer to that question whenever you guys want to, like, what are we using to build things out? Because
Go
I
ahead.
definitely use AI, but I don't know if I'm interrupting or you guys answered that already. Sorry,
No,
my
go ahead.
audio just
Go
totally
for it.
jumped on me. So everybody out there, I kind of just dropped it in the chat. I actually, for any single agents out there that are kind of doing yourself, there's a decent way to do this. And in the future, I do think that Scott and I have talked about it of possibly putting out my workflow out to everybody and like kind of giving it to everybody for you to use. But we do have a pretty cool way we look for things, and I'll run people through quickly how we do it. To look for local niche stuff, we use Answer the Public, and we scrape what the top keywords or things that people are looking for in that keyword what it is. So say Sarasota is my area. I'm going to put that into Answer the Public. We're going to get a handful of a lot of keywords back. We're going to download that CSV. We're going to run that CSV through a chat GPT, something like that, and say, hey, give me some commonalities, some themes, and 4 to 5 different pillars, as well as some things to talk about. That's going to build out our first schedule of blogging and everything like that. From there, you're going to use ChatGPT to go through three to four different things from there. Once again, I have this kind of system out, so I'm giving you the rough kind of answer because I've seen it a couple times in the chat here. The first one's going to be research. You can either use an LLM like Claude or Perplexity. Perplexity.ai is a very good research-based LLM. And what it's going to do is it's just going to research things. You're going to just drop in where are the best places to live in Sarasota? It's gonna give you a bunch of information. If you hit the research mode, may take 2-3 minutes and give you a longer message. You're gonna bring that back over to ChatGPT. You're gonna say, hey, how can we present this in the best case scenario into a blog? You're gonna edit it back and forth, however you may do it. Then the last thing you're gonna do is make sure you go back into either Claude or ChatGPT and ask it for the best SEO and already with the H1, H2 tags and stuff like that, the best SEO setup. Now, you definitely don't want to use the header part, which once again, I will totally give this into a write-up and probably video down the line, but you just cut and use the base, the base head from head to the bottom of the head, paste that right in your HTML and post. Here's the deal. That's all you need to do to stay consistent. So if you're a single person out there that's like watching this, it's like, I don't know about VA, I don't have a team, I don't have this and that. Find yourself what people are looking for. Find yourself a process that you can go from research to writing to a good SEO organized blog and then post. If you do this 1 to 2 times, if you do it once a day, once every other day, you're going to start ranking for this stuff. You're going to start seeing impressions. So the answer is a mix. It's a mixture of them all. Sorry to give you guys all to jump in and just kind of go
No,
crazy.
that's all good, Danny. You reminded me that you actually did a webinar for us on exactly what you're talking through, which if you go to the Sierra website, click on Insights menu and click on demand, all of our webinars are in there. You'll be able to find even more detail from Dan on that for sure. How are you guys? Somebody, Jason, my buddy Jason, hey Jason, asked how you guys are using agent sites, if you're leveraging them at all. What are some of the ways that you're getting agent buy-in to use those sites? Are any of you leveraging our agent sites?
I don't have any agents who use anything but this site. Maybe I
There
just
you
have
go.
really cheap agents.
No, we use
They use everything on there. I don't know why they don't. Yeah.
I love the agent sites because for me, it gets
Mhm.
buy-in that we're branding the agent. Like, for
Mhm.
me, obviously, everything's kind of, branded out that it's whoever you are at Local Life Homes. So whether it be, if you share your link, I like the fact that if you share your link, your headshot's on there, not me. So for me, I kind of tell people that are joining the team, it's like we have a CRM that's built out for you that gives you all the versatility and kind of pushes that. But then also you have the ability to go blog yourself and really start branding yourself. That's not going to be just for now, but even in the future as you grow as a professional, whether you're on this team or not. Like I'm not planning on getting rid of the blog, so keep on writing, put stuff out there, be a publisher, be a voice of reason.
Mhm.
And
Our
are you
agents
finding, Dan, that your agents are blogging?
Yeah, we have one girl that does it all with new construction in this one area that is kind of her farm area. So
That's
basically,
cool.
her name kind of pops up with just this one new construction, and she has all the tours and she puts them on her Instagram. So it kind of is the nice thing where whenever she writes that blog, she kind of puts it on her Instagram. But for me, it's great because we know that we have that farm going, and then I run ads to kind of help boost that. But at the same time, when people get there, they're seeing a nice little insight to whatever's happening in that new construction. She's posting pictures like she's there, and it gives a little bit more feeling where she has ownership because
Yeah.
we push all that out to every one of our people. When we send out a newsletter once a week that talks about our blog posts, people are going to see that. And so that
Cool.
the buy-in comes in the fact that it's like, hey, I'm here investing in a big platform that takes a lot of organization and takes a lot of time to put through, but I want to have you piece of this to work with you because as a team nowadays, it's really not about, just sales. It's about helping them brand themselves and build their career as well.
Right.
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 At the single agent websites too, our agents use those quite a bit for their social medias. That's
Mhm.
a beautiful, catch right there
Those are
for,
awesome.
yeah. And yeah, our buy-in's been fairly good from the very beginning. Again, the user friendliness was the easiest for my agents. Change is always hard for humans. Agents, I think, are a little bit even harder sometimes when you add in a new tech stack. So we were really excited about their buy-in just because the user friendliness was so much different from where we were coming from.
Yeah.
Just to answer some of the questions in the chat, just because I did see some of these, A couple minutes ago, Claire asked if any of us use Blue Door. I do. It's really great. It works really well with Sierra stuff. Sierra also has a lot of really great built-in automations. All of our leads hit some sort of automation, so we do not need to actively go harass or assault these people. I understand everyone has their own viewpoint on leads, speed to lead. Totally get it. My leads come a little bit differently than other people's. They're organic people looking for information and value, so we approach it a little bit differently. So our action plans are absolutely amazing because it gives us a little bit of to figure out. Obviously, there's a couple lead sets that are categorized that are definitely speed to lead, but there's some other ones that, to be totally honest, we massaged it a little bit more. There was another person that added to here. Are you using it just for adding content or a full solution? They just getting leads and working them. In terms of full solution, I'm sure that Lorraine and Amy are both going to speak to this because I definitely think that's going to be interesting to hear. But I use it as a full solution. So we use it as our CRM of monitoring and understanding our leads and opportunities, whoever's in there, whatever you want to call a lead or opportunity, monitoring them, activating them, engaging with them, and then also utilizing our website as a lead engagement and lead attractive kind of platform. And those working together make it much easier. So when you talk about using it as a full solution, I mean, we're kind of all using it that different way. What about you guys, Lorraine and Amy?
We have the full solution too. We're doing the exact same as what you do, Dan.
Yeah, it's everything. I always tell Scott if it goes away one day, I'm going to probably,
Oh,
Which we
I can't
won't. We
imagine.
won't.
My whole life is in there. My whole business life. And I talk with agents sometimes and they're like, I don't even have a CRM. And I'm like, you don't have what? Like, I can't even fathom that. And then you know, I had someone message me today from my story. I talked about being on here. And he is like, what made you choose this as a solution? And I told him, I said, I needed an all in one. We talk about this all the time. There are tons of tools out there. But for your business to have that with that website, I have a lot of people, they're like, oh, I host my website over here. I don't even know what that would look like. Like, I can't imagine what it would have to take to make it all talk together because when those leads come in, they're very targeted. And like I said, I used to buy a lot of leads. We don't buy any leads anymore. My team runs purely off of working our sphere and that SEO. And I'm like Amy. I had a conversation with Patrick Ferry, Tom Ferry's brother, back in 2020. I was on stage. We at a Sierra Interactive event. We went to dinner. And he told me I needed to niche down and be hyper local. He opened up his phone, showed me how to do that. And I totally stripped my website down to be hyper local after that. I know Dan's actually got local life behind him, right? Like that's what this is about. And I could not do that in another CRM the same way. Being able to have such targeted content where somebody calls us and says, hey, I saw this neighborhood and I want to buy a home. Or I rank for a list my Dallas, Georgia home. And I get just listings. They don't interview other agents. It's the cousin, I call it, of your working your sphere, right? They just already know, liked, and trusted you because you showed up so much on the internet. They're researchers and they just want you to come and list that property where their parents died and they have to handle a estate, right? I have that content out there. So for me, all in one, it's absolutely all in one. Everything starts with this CRM.
I think that Vincent asked a pretty good question with this, and it'd be interesting to know your guys' answer to this. But he said, define hyper local. Is it by geography or population? And actually, Vincent, to me, it's actually could be both. You have to take it what it is because when you look at it, New York City, hyper local is a block. If you go down to Dallas, Georgia, it might be Dallas, Georgia is hyper
It
local.
is.
But Dallas, Georgia. Where for me, it is actually neighborhood by neighborhood. If you actually go to our website, it is by areas, and they're all the areas tend to be in the same way. Everything goes by kind of counties down here. There's only a couple towns, and it's by areas. So hyper local to me is the idea that you are honing in on something that is an area that not many people are shining a light on. So it's not necessarily a size or a number or a perfect kind of system, but what it is looking at something where it's like, hey, if my city, if there's 20 people that rank above me and it's going to be pretty hard to bust into, why don't I pull back a little bit and think about an area of my city? Maybe that's big. Maybe we'll talk about a neighborhood. Maybe we'll talk about a block. But here's the thing is once you start building that, talk about the parks in the area, the small businesses, everything that's going on, that is hyper local. It's the idea of going crazy on something very small, and you can continue building that up from there. But what it does is what Lorraine's doing, what Amy's doing, what I do stuff that hyper local. One of our blogs this past month got 1,000 views because it's a new Trader Joe's. I just got my news from a commercial, real estate agent, and we got the news out there first. We're now ranking above all the news sources for that. It has
Oh,
nothing to
cool.
do with real estate, but it's all the people kind of coming in. So that is hyper local. It has nothing to do with Florida. It has nothing to do with, honestly, even some of the towns I sell in. It's very local to South Sarasota. So I hope that answered your question. And kind of to you, Amy, I'll throw it back to you. Amy, what do you think about hyper local and how do you think that defines like what you're doing with your website?
Well, we're in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, y'all. It's all local. So it's all same thing. It's all our whole area is called the Sioux Empire, and we're 200 and 70 some thousand people population. So pretty small little nugget of the world. But we go granular down into like developments and then into our like little suburbs that are around there. But then also just like our downtown, same thing. It depends on what we're talking about of like what's happening. Within our area. Same with our newsletters. We take the same thing and just pull it and just scrape it on AI, have it go out and scrape and get it to us so then we can throw it into a prompt and get it just regurgitated back out with our names attached.
I think if
Um,
somebody's also looking like I'm the north of Atlanta, trying to rank for the term Atlanta is way more money than I have to hire somebody to do that. So I decided this is where I live and this is where I was going to niche down, but I still write content of things you can do within an hour of Dallas, Georgia. And if anybody's ever been to Atlanta, you can go to a lake, you can go to the mountains, you can go apple picking. I can be at a concert, any major league, baseball, football, I want to go to, concerts, art. So we also tie that in. We talk about commute, right? Like if I use the term Atlanta a lot though, because if you're looking to, still to commute, but you want to have more of a suburban feel, we're perfect. You can niche down and do that, right? Like you might have to look at your area a little bit different, but I just found that I didn't want to compete with that term. So what did I do? I did what Dan said. I went more strategic. And also, I don't know about you guys, but I like driving 15 to 30 minutes to show a house. I don't want to drive 2.5 hours in traffic. So, are you doing it because you're not getting closings out there? People still buy houses where I live, right? So, that determining that factor, I do my city and my county, and I rank for both. But and I'm sure one of us at some point, somebody could help you kind of try to niche down, but just think about where do you want to do business too? What does that look like for you? Where do you want to do business?
and what does your ideal client look like too, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe you
What does
don't
it look
want to deal
like?
with first time home buyers, so then focus on a higher price point. Maybe you want to focus in luxury. So now you're looking to start creating content for that demographic. So that's awesome. We've had a question that I wanted to slide in here. We talked a little bit about agent adoption, right? Like what you guys do. Amy, I've worked with your team. I know like those guys are all in, which is super impressive. What are some of the training strategies or support that you provide your agents to get them to embrace Sierra and some of the tools instead of overwhelming them? And this could be agents on a team or an individual agent, right? Like the system is pretty robust, right? And I always tell our clients, like, start with one or two things and then build on it from there because you will get overwhelmed. But what are some of the things you guys do?
We do our sales meetings every other Tuesday and then trainings the Tuesdays in between. And during the sales meetings, we have like just a Sierra interactive minute or we have something that somebody's using at a higher level that we're going over and reminding them just another thing like, hey, you can do this and you can do this. Just and again, humans need to hear things 7 times before they fully even like start to actually listen, right? So a lot of times we're just going over like a lot of the basics of like, this is how you can get more leads. This is how you can serve at a higher level. And so that's what one thing that's been helpful for us is obviously in our new agent boot camp, there's a whole, section for that. And during the boot camp part of it, of just the training and the learning that lives within our training modules, but buy-in. And the nice thing too, like Lorraine, I was that agent back when I started, when I was doing everything the wrong way. I have a PhD in failing forward. I did it all wrong for a long time. I had a CRM, but I didn't use that thing. I didn't use it at all. And I tell my agents, I'm like, you guys, we own 10% of the market share. If I would have gotten my shit together when I first started, we would be so much more, we'd have so much more market share. But it's because I didn't do it right. I didn't listen to the system. I was using an Excel sheet. Like,
At least you had an Excel sheet. I'm talking
yeah.
to ones that have nothing.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
do you, well, like you and I both use it for our sphere heavy. I'm sure Dan does
Mhm.
too. Like even that, I have a client event coming up right now. We are doing photos. We do it every fall. We have Santa come. They can use them for their Christmas cards. We give them the photo session and digital images. And we have same as you, text, email out of them. There's even for that, I have agents that all their business come from their sphere. You can still use a CRM for that. And why
Mm.
are you also not leveraging, like I said, the SEO piece to it? Like you literally have that as a tool. But yeah, I'm the same way. I guess I started that way. I'm kind of a techie girl. So I think even if you use it on basic level, you've got to have somewhere that you house everybody. How do you
Mhm.
know what's going on with them and when to touch them if you don't?
Right.
Yeah.
Scott, you showed my ISA the
You're putting
short
me on the spot
summary.
now. Oh yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Oh,
Mhm.
shoot.
Yep.
Um, well, we took that. If you can show that, I lost it online.
Yeah, sure. I can pull that
Um,
up.
so the short summary, so we use text blaze. So what my ISA does is just text blazed out that template. And so he just goes in and adds it in that short summary so that at a glance he can
Yeah.
look and see everything.
So you'll see, I mean, every lead has a short summary area
Mhm.
where you can put in whatever information you want. To me, I use it for just quick information on that lead. The nice thing is you can see it when you're in the lead dashboard. It's right here, so you can get a quick snapshot of. I don't put I've been getting the email and the phone number out of there. That's not that important, but where they're looking, what their timeline is, have they been pre-approved, what their budget is, the real quick and dirty of what you need. So anybody can look at it real quick and make a determination like, hey, do I actually need to click into this lead and have a conversation with them?
Yeah, so my guy goes in, we have text blaze that's just hooked up to our Chrome extension. And so it's just a text replacement, right? That's all that is. And so he just texts in like backslash, I think SSM or something, and then auto populates that whole template. So then he can just easily go in and fill it in. And so he knows at a glance, but
Mhm.
he loves it. He taught it to our
Yeah,
agents right away that next training.
yeah, yeah. And we get to get one step further and actually, I'm pretty sure we can put it in there using an automation. Maybe we need to talk about that, Amy.
Mm.
As
There,
new leads come in, it should be able to be put in there. So
one thing I know that I don't know really when we're gonna end. I feel like it might be a couple minutes here.
probably pretty soon.
But what I wanted to, one thing that I know everyone wants these insights. Okay, if you're on here, first off, I'm just gonna say here, if you're in the chat, you're one of the 98 people in here. Three of us were full of a ton of ideas. We're going to be doing this monthly. We're going to be jumping into things. So if you have stuff, number one, email the Sierra team or message them on Instagram. Give us questions. We want to jump into this stuff. We want to go through it. Secondly, here's a little quick takeaway for anyone. If you're not utilizing Google Alerts, please set yourself up with a Google alert that will actually give you information on what's happening in your area, and you can blog about that. Okay, so little tidbit there. I really want to drop that today, but you set up Google Alerts for your local area, start blogging on things like that, If you have questions on the future, how we're using this, I see Jay, you're actually asking like, hey, how we're using it for lead engage triggers best for ISA. Sounds good. Next session, we will go through all on how the three of us go through, lead engagement or whatever it is. But if anyone that's on here, I know the three of us have a lot of passion to help everybody out. Use it the way we're using it, and we use it, the three of us, in very different ways. So I know that we're all very excited to continue showing you, everyone out there. And if you're not on the Facebook group, please go on the Facebook group. There's a lot of great people out there. Ask the questions. I'm in there. You can tag me. Just hit @Dan McKinnon. Tag me. I'll come in there and ask a question or answer the question. So if you didn't get specific answers today, just please ask us more questions.
Appreciate that, Dan. And I tell a lot of people too, when you go into the Facebook group, because a lot of questions have already been asked, do a search first, right? Like if you're just getting started with Sierra, or even if you've been with us for a long time and you're looking to sort of level up, do a quick search. A lot of times you can find the content there. And I think on that note, it's probably a good place for us to sign off. We've lost a few people, and I appreciate everybody staying on. We still got 95 people on, which is amazing. For those of you who aren't our clients already, we love our clients. For those of you who are interested in getting more information about Sierra, I've put a QR code up on the screen. Hopefully you guys can see that. Go ahead and take a picture of that and sign up for a demo. We can definitely show you more. And like Dan said, we are going to have more of these coming at you guys. So if you want to send in information, send in suggestions or questions on specific topics you'd like us to cover, we'd be happy to do so. Guys, I cannot thank you enough for your help, your participation, and really the value that you guys are willing to bring our ecosystem and everybody out there, and just helping agents in general. Thank you so much.
Yeah, honor. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Have a
See
good
ya.
one.